Hello and welcome to NC Family Weekly Update for the week ending January 30th, also known as the week between two winter storms. I'm Adamo Manfer, our Director of Research and Education, joined here by our counsel, Jerry Royal. Glad to have you here.
Good to be together, always.
Well, starting where we like to start, why don't you give us an update on what's going on in the General Assembly this week?
Well, I think the story, what we've shared with you before, is continuing to be the story of the General Assembly. They are having committee meetings, although this past week, because of the storm and other factors, things got postponed. They're scheduled to come back potentially the beginning of February, March, and April. They're setting aside days, which we mentioned this before. But our understanding is, and I think, and based on recent months, they will not actually come back and vote during those time periods. It's like setting aside a Monday through Thursday in each of those months. April 21st is the time that we understand they will come back and begin having voting sessions again with issues like the state budget, which is obviously that's the big part of what typically happens in a short session is coming back from the long session budget for 2 years and making adjustments. This will be coming to the short session to do the 2-year budget. So it's an interesting time that we're all hopeful and need to be praying for wisdom that they can work through whatever the differences are that are causing this delay in enacting the state budget.
Yeah, good. Well, we'll be keeping an eye on that, and we'll look for you to keep us updated. Another update this week is an initiative that we're partnering with another organization, Them Before Us, as well as numerous other great organizations out there, on an initiative called Greater Than. So this initiative is really, it sort of champions one of the principles that we hold, and Them Before Us really champions quite clearly, of saying putting the children before the adults. So the rights of a child over the desires of adults. And Greater Than is really looking at getting back to a legal system and honoring marriage and the nuclear family and the circumstances that are best for flourishing children to grow and thrive as they are raised. And so we're excited to partner with them. We sent out an email this week, and we'll put a link in the show notes on a website you can go to learn more about that initiative. Another update, though, however, is last month we sent out some information about an NDAA, an element that was being put into the NDA this year to do federal recognition for the Lumbee Tribe, and our concerns with that initiative and that amendment. And there are some local updates on that issue.
Yeah, and I think we shared, of course, and thank y'all for working together with us to try to discourage the possibility of a lot more gambling activity in North Carolina. But as we mentioned in December, Congress did give federal recognition to the Lumbee Tribe, which they're located near Interstate 95. Used to be our only casinos were way western North Carolina with the Cherokee, then the Catawba. Now the potential is there. It's not an automatic. What's going to happen now that the tribe has received federal recognition? They're getting benefits which we've been in favor of for health care, education, but it's also opened the door for the possibility of casino gambling. And so what actually will have to happen next is the Lumbee Tribe itself will vote on whether they want to bring casino gambling to their area. They actually have taken an initial step, a big step, a purchase of 241 acres on Interstate 95, which is interesting because you think, I thought this was about tribes having the right on their own land to do this, but what they also can do is purchase their technicalities, but adjoining land, which this is close to where they're currently located, which will obviously have a tremendous impact. Being on a major interstate, we've already had with Interstate 85, now this will be Interstate 95. But even more so, in an article that we put out this week, is just the continuing concern that we have as gambling is expanded. More and more, thousands more people will be impacted. The people who become pathological gamblers, and everybody goes, well, it's a small percentage. Well, small percentage of hundreds of thousands or millions of people, that translates into thousands of lives being negatively impacted. So our hope and prayer would be that the Lumbee Tribe would decide not to pursue that, just to take advantage of these other federal benefits they'll receive. But right now, we see it's a very real potential that this could happen.
Yeah. So again, we'll keep an eye on that. Other news this week, and a more positive note, is this week is School Choice Week, and so there have been celebrations and activities around the state, particularly in Raleigh, about that. And we want to take this opportunity to remind you how fortunate we are to live in a state with great school choice. We do have a strong public school system, but we have charter schools, lots of private schools, and one key program, the Opportunity Scholarship Program, which expanded in the past 2 years to allow everyone to apply. It's tiered for different tier groups, for different income levels, and the amount of tuition support you get for that. But everyone can apply, and we encourage everyone to apply that might be considering utilizing this program and taking advantage of private schools in the area. I know my family will be applying as we consider a private school for our daughter next year as she begins kindergarten. So applications for that start next week on February 2nd with NCSEAA. There will be a link in the show notes on that to take you to a place you can apply for that. So we hope you take this time to reflect on how fortunate we are to live in a state with great school choice, great school opportunities, and entertain your right to try to apply for that opportunity scholarship if the situation is appropriate for your family. Another thing that people might be thinking about participating in coming up is elections.
Right, exactly. And you know, it's very soon. It's going to be March the 3rd is when the primary is going to be. Actually, February 6th is the registration deadline. Early voting starts on February 12th. So I think we mentioned this, I know, last week, but you can go to the North Carolina State Board of Elections website and you can look up your sample ballot there. It's very simple. You just put in your name. It has other boxes, but you put your name and county and search. It'll pull your name up. You can click on the link to your name and you can go to a sample ballot, and it'll be the ballot you would look at in the voting booth for this upcoming primary. And across the state, a number of the primary elections will probably be the same. The outcome of that election will be the same as the general election in November because of the way the district lines are drawn. So this is a very important time, and it gives you now, having this notice, to be able to go see who's on your ballot and to do homework. More and more of the candidates have websites where you can go and see what their positions are, why they're running for office. So we encourage you to go ahead and start that process now.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming up next week is sort of your last chance to get registered to vote if somehow you're not for the upcoming primaries, as well as an opportunity to start enrolling for the Opportunity Scholarship Program for this next year. Additionally, as we look ahead to these short sessions starting in April, and as we think about reasons to be plugged into elections and other political considerations from a faith-based perspective, we invite you, if you have a homeschool group or private school you're plugged into, or just a group of youth that you know that might be interested in learning more about how to bring our faith into the public square and why our faith should affect our approach to that, we invite you to look at our website for our Salt and Light program as well. We're excited to have more of those offerings this year, and we hope to see some of our old groups come back, as many do. So thank you for joining us and keeping up to date on what's going on in North Carolina, in the political landscape, in the faith landscape, and we hope to see you next week.